Armata!
The Ukrainian military has claimed that it destroyed at least 130 Russian tanks during fighting in the eastern coal mining town of Vuhledar. Over 3 weeks, Russian troops sent dozens of tanks to try to break through the Ukrainian lines in a field next to Vuhledar. The attack came after the Ukrainian Armed Forces claimed to have destroyed almost the entire brigade of Russia's elite 155th Naval Infantry at Vuhledar in February. From February 24, 2022 to March 4, 2023, the Ukrainian Defense Forces eliminated an estimated 152,190 Russian troops and 820 people in the last day alone. Heavy fighting broke out Saturday in the town of Bakhmut in Donbass, Ukraine, as Russian troops tried to take control. Thousands of Russian soldiers died trying to take Bakhmut. Ukrainian commanders estimate that the Russians have lost 7 times more troops than they had. By now, after heavy shelling, the Russian troops and troops from Wagner's private army appear to have surrounded most of Bakhmut. According to the deputy mayor of Bakhmut, Oleksandr Marchenko, Russian troops have not yet taken control of the city. However, the city itself was almost completely destroyed, he said, speaking to BBC Radio 4's Today program. The city is now surrounded on 3 sides by Russian troops and Wagner Group troops, according to a British Ministry of Defense intelligence update on Saturday. The update also said Bakhmut was under increasing pressure, with heavy fighting taking place in and around the city. In its intelligence update on Saturday morning, Britain's defense military said Bakhmut was under increasing pressure. It said, Ukrainian defenses of the town of Bakhmut in the Donbass are under increasing pressure, with heavy fighting taking place in and around the town. Russian Army regular troops and Wagner Group have made further advances into the northern outskirts of the city, which is now a key Ukrainian territory, vulnerable to Russian attack on 3 sides. Ukraine reinforced the area with elite units, and in the last 36 hours 2 major bridgeheads in Bakhmut have been destroyed, including the important bridge linking the town to the last major supply line from Bakhmut to the town of Chasiv Yar. Meanwhile, Russia attacked the communities of Nikopol and Marhanets overnight on March 4. Dnipropetrovsk Oblast Governor Serhiy Lysak reported on Telegram. In the city of Nikopol, home to more than 115,000 people, a factory was damaged by shelling, as well as 4 private residences, a warehouse and power lines. 1 building caught fire as a result of the attack. According to the governor, first responders had put it out, and no casualties were reported. Russia has continued to attack Dnipropetrovsk Oblast and its capital since the start of the full-scale invasion. To prevent Russia from retaking the city it abandoned last year, Ukraine has ordered some people to leave Kupyansk. According to Kharkiv regional officials, Russian troops' continued shelling has forced families with children and people with restricted mobility to flee. The city in the northeast was captured by the Russians at the start of the full-scale invasion. Ukraine retook it in September. Recent news releases from the Ukrainian military stated that although Russian forces maintained their onslaught on Bakhmut, they were repelled in their efforts. The leader of the Wagner paramilitary group, Prigozhin, claimed in a video posted on Telegram on Friday that pincers were approaching Bakhmut. In addition, he said in a letter to President Zelensky that Wagner's soldiers had practically surrounded the city and now there was only 1 road left. He urged the Ukrainian leader to leave the city. A woman died and 2 men were seriously injured by shelling while trying to cross a makeshift bridge from Bakhmut on Saturday, according to Ukrainian troops assisting them. A Ukrainian army representative who asked not to be named for operational reasons told the Associated Press, AP, that it was now too dangerous for civilians to leave the city in vehicles. and people should instead flee on foot. An AP team near Bakhmut on Saturday spotted a pontoon bridge erected by Ukrainian soldiers to help some of the town's remaining residents reach the nearby village of Kremov. Later, they saw at least 5 houses burnt as a result of the attack on Kremov. Bakhmut resident Hennady Mazepa and his wife Natalia Ishkova both chose to remain in Bakhmut, even as heavy fighting reduced much of the town to rubble. Speaking on Saturday, Ishkova said they were suffering from a shortage of food and basic necessities. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday accused Ukraine of carrying out acts of terrorism in a small Russian community north of the Ukrainian border. Ukrainian troops today carry out another act of terror, committed another crime, infiltrated the border area and opened fire on civilians, Putin said, according to Russia's official TASS news agency. They saw it was a civilian car, saw civilians and children inside. They opened fire on them. Meanwhile, Wagner's mercenary group posted a video it claimed showed its troops raising their flag over a building in the eastern part of the besieged city. Bakhmut was no cakewalk for Russia, as the video of a Ukrainian T-64 tank destroying a Russian infantry fighting vehicle shows. Russia must pay for its crimes. That's the latest message from the President of the European Commission. In a video address, Ursula von der Leyen announced an agreement has been signed for an International Crimes of Aggression Prosecution Center to be established in The Hague. He said Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine had caused unspeakable suffering, and the West should do everything to bring the perpetrators to justice. He described witnessing atrocities perpetrated by Russian troops in Bucha, an area where mass graves, bodies with their hands tied behind their backs and evidence of torture were found after the Moscow troops withdrew. There is increasing evidence of direct attacks on civilians and energy and other infrastructure, said von der Leyen. Torture, ill treatment, sexual violence, and summary executions are known to have been carried out by Russian forces. Not even children were spared.